You got to blow the horn. Here he comes. Head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, Kevin O'Connell, walking on live. This is live, so you can't say shit or piss or hell or damn. We can.
You're allowed to say whatever. It doesn't matter.
Good to see you.
We're on app now. I mean, so we're Peacock. You could say whatever you want, really. If
You always have the best gear, though. Look, you got without the colors, it's like the gray Vikings. You have you always have the great hoodie that they don't sell. Yeah. Like I'm always looking to buy the hoodie that Coach wears during the game, but you can't sell it.
What he's saying is probably going to get me in trouble in some capacity for wearing something I'm not supposed to wear. So thank you for that. No.
How are you?
Doing great, man. How are you guys doing?
We're great, man. Are you a swearer? Are you a cusser? Are you a? Do you let Kirk and company have it every now and then?
I pick my spots.
Yeah.
I try not to be. I mean, to me, if you need that to get your point across, there's a time and a place.
Well, you're in the
sure.
wrong place because we use it to make our points all the time.
You have a good way of looking at people, though. That's where you have a good look where you're like, why the hell did you do that? Like, well, you have that. The
best way to get that look is to see it many, many, many times, and I didn't always have to look in the mirror to see that look because a lot of the coaches I had gave me that look. So I can tell you I know exactly what look you're talking about.
Okay, all right, good. You said one last thing before he asks you serious questions.
I'm going to ask you serious questions.
You know what's happened to this guy this year? Right? This was Kirk Cousins, I love him not. And now it's I love him so much, give him the keys to the organization and give him $100 million guaranteed.
I never said that.
He turned the page here.
That.
It's incredible.
You know what?
It's your fault.
Well,
I feel
you know
like
why it's your fault?
like
because last year you told us he's going to be so much better this year because it's the first time in 7 years he's got the same person in his ear. And he was. That game against the 49ers.
Yep.
Which there's no chance it's the 49ers. It was the best game of his career.
And then he follows it up going
6
to Lambeau.
days later.
And
that
was probably, I've been through some injuries at the quarterback position coaching in this league. And, I was on the sidelines as a backup quarterback when Tom Brady tore his ACL in the opener against Kansas City my rookie year. But that was probably, right along Alex Smith's injury in Washington. I mean, as impactful as any on me, just because you're in it. You're in the fight with a guy every single day. You're watching him do everything he can, really maximizing his opportunity, and just started off 0-3. We literally, I remember the Monday after the Charger game at home, we go 0-3, and I talked to our team about, the opportunity to deal with this adversity the right way, and we were holding the pen, writing our story that the first chapter didn't go the way we wanted, but this, and I have the confidence that we're going to get to where we're going. And I said, because of guys like Kirk and how they work and what we're going to be as a finished product this year, when that happened, it just, it took the wind out of your sails a little bit. Because not only just for our team and how much Kirk meant to our team, for the 2023 season and where he had gotten to, but also just for Kirk himself, because I know how much confidence he has in himself. He's going into free agency, guy's not afraid to bet on himself. A lot of respect for a guy in this day and age still willing to do that, and to have that happen to him. I can tell you it's been awesome seeing his recovery and his rehab. I know everybody got to see the video recently he put out there, but we've been getting to see, in-house with our trainers and some of the folks he works with, that Kirk's in a great spot, and that's not a surprise to me the way he attacks things on a daily basis.
But with him betting on himself, there's a chance he's going to find a jackpot somewhere else.
Yeah, I think, anytime free agency is involved, we can have plans, and Kirk knows, how I personally feel about him. He knows how our organization feels about him. I believe Kirk wants to be a Minnesota Viking. I do believe that. I've had some great dialogue with him pretty much weekly throughout the offseason, leading into kind of as we step foot in Indy for the Combine. But there's a process, Mike, that's got to play out. And I think if for us to, be able to get to the place where we can come to an agreement and have Kirk Cousins as our quarterback moving forward, which is what, I would love to see happen, we're going to have to find that space, that common ground. But ultimately, knowing both parties want the same outcome, I do believe, I feel strongly we're going to be able to get something done.
If I may be reading between the lines here, and I may be completely off base. It happens all the time. I almost feel like he needs to, and you need him to, see what else might be out there before he can make his decision to stick around.
I don't know, needs probably the wrong word. I just think it's the opportunity. This isn't his first time betting on himself and, entering free agency, and I think he's earned that right. And like I said, in this day and age, and a lot of the questions we're asking guys at this very combine when we get them in informal interviews revolve around handling adversity. Having the courage to bet on yourself in a lot of ways is something you're just not seeing that much anymore. Guys being willing to overcome adverse situations, fight like crazy to still be successful where their feet are planted. I do believe that Kirk knows how we feel about him, and I think at this point he's earned the right for what's going to transpire over these next few days and weeks. But my confidence is still strong that we're going to have an opportunity for Kirk to be in Minnesota.
So 100% unequivocally, you want him back?
I do want him back. Yes.
There it is. Boom. You got him. Put all the flower petals back on. You love him.
No,
here we go.
He's not back yet.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
It's encouraging to know, because I do remember sitting in this very spot.
Right.
Maybe right in between you guys.
Well, it was right after he had thrown 5 yards short of the sticks on 4th and 3 when Justin Jefferson was technically open down the field. That's why. I just wanted him to throw it to Justin.
He just wants him to throw it up.
Maybe safety was
flat-footed.
flat-footed.
He needed the look a couple times.
Maybe he needed Dexter Lawrence on his ass a little bit.
That's a whole different story right there. Nobody ever needs Dexter Lawrence
around you too closely.
I
Right?
see Rick Spielman sitting over there. He is very well known for the quote from 11 years ago, "We have no intent to trade Percy Harvin." Can you tell me you have no intent to trade Justin Jefferson?
I can tell you we have no intent to trade Justin Jefferson.
You're going to dissect that comment.
Justin
is
well, there's really nothing. Let me dissect it for you.
Yeah, I love it.
We have had zero discussions, dialogue about that, either internally, externally, on this planet or another planet. I feel very strongly that Justin is a guy best at his position in football. Anytime you're trying to negotiate a contract to make a guy to really reset the receiver market, which we know who he is. We know what Justin's earned through his first 4 years in this league. Anytime you're trying to, Mike, you know how hard it is.
Yeah.
2 years early to negotiate a deal with the type of player and the confidence Justin has in himself. It was never going to be something that would just be easy to get done, but the intent was there. The intent is still stronger than ever to get something done with Justin, and I look forward to the time we get to do that, because I don't like the idea of looking down at a call sheet. Those words and letters, they don't look as good to me when I know that number 18 is not attached.
I hear that.
And you got to experience that this year too.
I did, and I think the adversity we went through. I know what, as a young coach, win 13 games our first year, win a lot of close games. To deal with the adversity that we did this year, I think it's only going to make us better as an organization. Now we've got to build our football team not only for 2024, but have a mindset on sustaining into the future. But we can really take some things from this past season and apply it moving forward.
He thought you guys were better last year than the year before.
I can just tell you that we know we've learned some hard lessons.
Right.
We learn you lose football games by turning the football over.
You had fumbleitis early in the year.
We learned that we can overcome adversity, like an 0-3 start, get back to 500, playing some really good football teams, really 5 weeks later.
Yeah.
And then right about the time you feel like you've attained what your short-term goal was, you got to be ready for another, right hook standing in the middle of the ring, and you got to respond to that. And that word just continues to resonate. And what we're doing right now through this offseason and building into the future, it's all part of, a collective goal of making sure we sustain as an organization and feel very strongly about what we have in place from a leadership standpoint, and also the roster that we not only have coming back, but that we can build throughout the process of these next few months.
Any overall lesson you had to learn with dealing with 4 quarterbacks this year? Was there something that, a bright light popped on where you're like, ooh, this is interesting, or I won't do this again, or whatever?
Yeah, I just think anytime you try to figure out exactly what your identity is, either as an offense or a play caller, you better be willing to adapt. You better be willing to completely, kind of submerge yourself in a process to do what the guy under center does well, and do whatever that guy needs you to do for them to have success. And that's not only the quarterback position. You hear coaches probably say it time and time again at these podiums this week. We're trying to build systems that fit our personnel and what they do best, because I think that can be an evolving thing. I hope it doesn't have to be an evolving week-to-week, quarter-to-quarter thing.
I hear you there.
But year-to-year, no doubt, because that's our jobs as coaches.
How do you size up QBs, like when you meet them in these draft process here.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I feel like there's stuff to glean about the attitude, the presence of a guy. I mean, where does your mind go?
You know what it's like when you get a guy talking football, and,
right?
You know, they're almost jumping out of their chair explaining a protection, or, you know, hey, you pop on a play from this game, and, you know, they see a still shot of it, 33-yard line, second quarter, second and 7.
And they know what play is
and
coming.
they know exactly what the play is, and they can start what it felt like, what was going through their mind, what they saw, the little things that maybe even evaluating and watching that tape 10 times, they might add something to it.
Right.
It's a really cool time of the year, and I think these guys, there's some really
that resonates with
players,
you, that energy
also,
they have when they're explaining ball.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because ultimately, what I want, not just the quarterback position, guys that love football, guys that are tough, smart, accountable to their teammates. The talent level obviously needs to be there. But you want guys that you're eventually going to probably be dealing with some adversity right alongside, and you know that they're going to be doing it the right way, and you'll have that much more of a chance to overcome it if you got the right kind of guys.
Right. I got one more for him if you want.
I got one that. Go ahead. I'm thinking through how to word it.
All right.
Go ahead.
So I
got one shot.
I have this year, again, he would tell you, I've put you in the Chris Simms pantheon for what it's worth of definitely one of the best offensive minds in football right now.
Thank you.
Hands down. And like the phrase I use sometimes is like simplistically creative.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it or what I'm trying to say here more than like, how do you go about exposing teams' rules? Are you a stealer of plays? I think about the 49ers game. Right? I know you know what dagger is. Like one guy runs straight and the other guy runs the in cut.
Yep.
The 49ers play that cover 3 a lot.
Yep.
You sent like 2 guys towards the post and then one guy. Like it was the same play but a different version of it. So I guess is what how do you come about with these ideas and things you do to expose defenses?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, understanding the principles of what's being coached on the other side.
The rules of the defense.
The rules of the defense, and understanding kind of how all 11 on both sides everybody's got a job to do. Everybody's got keys. Everybody's got playbook rules and responsibilities. And a lot of times, what you're trying to do is you're trying to manipulate. Yeah. Sometimes it's run pass for second level defenders. Sometimes it's coverage responsibilities. Hey, this guy's responsible for a deep third or quarter or a half, or this guy, has a B gap fit in the run game, basically the B gap between the guard and the tackle. But he's also responsible to defend that 12-yard in cut. How do we put him in a bind in real time, at a world-class level where it's happening in rhythm, on time, and we make things easy and digestible for our players.
Right.
So that's where you see
doing
a lot of the similar things and principles, but just figuring out the best way to do it so that Justin and Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson and Kirk can have that kind of rapport that you might only get one chance to practice it. You might be building upon a play that they ran 8 to 10 weeks ago. And, hey, guys, remember this? This is that, but here's why it's
just
different. And here's,
like
the why, I think, is the empowering thing as a coach. Like, it does no good for me to know what we're trying to do and why we're doing it. If when the ball gets kicked off, those 11 guys go out there, they've got to know. And that's what I love about this job. I love teaching that. Confined time, you better get it done right now. Be at your best for these guys because they come to expect it each and every week. It's what I love about this job.
Yeah. Cool.
I had that one more question. I'm going to put a pin in it. I want to word it just right. Thank you so much. Great seeing you.
I knew if I went long on that answer.
Hey, way to go. Way to filibuster.
Took up the rest of the time. Ran out the clock. Thank you so much.
I got so much love for you guys.
We appreciate you so much, and we wish you all the best. We know it's a crazy time, and we hope that it all works out. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.